Hi, I'm Steven. That's John. We're with Just Got Played, and this is the 7th annual MrX's Top 25 Games of All Time. So what does that mean? Well, you can go back and look at our first video, the December 1st, number 25 video, if you want a little more background on it. But essentially, this is an aggregated list of a lot of people's top 50 games that we combined together and made a top 25 out of. And today we are talking about number 18 on our list for December 8th, and that is Everdell. Everdell is not new to the list. It also showed up in 2020 as number 23. All right, John, why don't you tell us a little bit about how Everdell works?
Sure. So Everdell is a tableau builder, essentially. You have a bunch of woodland creatures, and you can build smaller creatures into larger creatures. There's combos that you can do. If you have a specific type of creature, there's another one that says, hey, you get to play this one for free. So you're doing tableau building, you're doing a little bit of comboing, you're trying to dig through the deck to try to find some different things. So it's a very straightforward tableau builder, which I enjoy. The components are great. It has a tree that you literally build to put the decks on. You don't need it, but it's just a fun little extra bit to it, because the theme really does carry a lot of the mechanics of this game. So you're just drawing different cards over the course of the game. You're trying to play down and expand your tableau. And then once somebody gets to, I believe it's 15 cards in their tableau, the game's over and you tally up the points. So just a straightforward tableau builder with a really cool theme that plays really well and can have anywhere from 2 to 4 players.
Yeah, I mean, I think what draws most people into this game is the art and the table presence. That tree thing that you talked about helps, but also just seeing all the art sort of spread out with everybody's tableaus and the stuff that's available, and the board where there's where you get to place your workers. There's a light, worker placement mechanism going on here. I like that about the game. I will say that if you have never played Everdell, do not play it with people who have analysis paralysis. This game is because you're building that tableau and trying to find the combos to put things together, which is a fascinating part of the game, which makes it a lot of fun, but can really induce analysis paralysis in some people. So be wary of that. There's also a lot of expansions to this game. Have you played? I've played the game several times, but only just the base game. Have you played with any of the expansions, John?
Yeah, I actually have the base game and Pearlbrook, which adds another board, and there's pearls that you can get, and all of the different expansions add different like modular things that you can have. So there's a lot of variety in the game. There's a lot of replayability, and you can kind of tailor it. If you just have people that just want to do the base game with that tableau builder and a little bit of resource gathering, you can do that. If you're like, well, I want something more advanced, you can add another module to it that does different things. So it's one of those games that if you buy it and you end up liking it, then you could probably get 50 plays out of it, especially if you start buying the expansions.
Yeah, what are there? 3 more? 2 or
There's
3?
more, yeah.
3 total expansions. Yeah. So it's a pretty big box, though, right?
Yeah, it's one of those games where the base game has a lot of content in it. It's a fairly large size box. There's a lot of cards in it. It's not going to start feeling a little samey until like 5th or 6th playthrough on it, and at that point, that's when you can grab another expansion. So for the base game itself, there's a lot of replayability in it, and then just add even more with the expansions.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, obviously a lot of people around here it just got played like Everdell, which is why it ended up at this spot in MrX's Top 25 Games of All Time. Is there anything else you want to tell us about it, John?
This covers it pretty well.
All right, cool. Well, I know you're a big fan of the game, so I didn't want to cut you off.
Sure.
Wanted to wax eloquently more about it.
It's a great game. I'd recommend it, especially intro to new players of the hobby, because that theme really does hook people, and it makes it a lot easier to go, oh, I see what's happening. I build this critter, and then I build this house related to the critter. And it's very straightforward as to what you're doing. So great intro game, great game for core gamers, just great all around.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I also want to mention that as with every December when we do this MrX's Top 25 Games of All Time, it is a contest. So leave a comment on the YouTube video. Every day when we put out one of these, that's how you enter, and I'll pick a winner sometime around the end of December. And for today, why don't you tell us what you think about Everdell? And if you haven't played it or you don't have any thoughts on it, why don't you just tell us what is the prettiest board game that you've ever played? Because Everdell is really high on a lot of people's lists for one of the prettiest board games I've ever played. But anyway, I'm Steven. That's John. We're from Just Got Played, and thanks for joining us.